All right. What's going on, party people? This is your man Griff here in the lab, our space where we do our workouts and all that good stuff and everything. Just so you can see, got our total gym dip bar here, exercise weight balls, weighted balls. Ooh. Got the weights, bars, kettlebells down here, all the kettlebells and everything. Got this big old fancy rack and resistance bands and all that good stuff. So even a weighted vest. We got a little some of everything in here to really get you going. The only thing I'm missing is a treadmill, so I don't have that, but I'm working on that. And yeah, the weights is like 315 pounds worth of them, and I actually got this rack, the bars, the weights, and all of that stuff for like $300. I'm talking about this full rack here where you can do squats on it, everything, and it even came with a bench for $3. Caught it at an estate sale. Dude was moving to China. Was like, I don't need it no more. I went in there, bought it, and I'm glad that I did. And you know, just the weights by himself without the bars is like 3 something. So to get all of that for 3 was a good deal. First, I want to say thanks again for watching the video that I put out there about not being scared of this business and asking yourself who made you scared in the first place. It's very important that you sort of fix that you sort of identify that in your life. But there was more that I wanted to talk about, and it was meant for the camera to stop working and everything at that particular time, because I don't think at that time I knew how to say what I'm getting ready to share now. I didn't know how to say it at that time. And when I woke up Thursday morning, it's Friday morning right now, probably almost 1 o'clock in the morning. And I just finished getting 4 out of the 5 signings that I have prepped. And you say, well, why you didn't get the 5th one? Because they don't have the documents. So they don't have the documents, I don't have the documents. So I went ahead on and got them done because I got an 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then a 4, 5, and a 6:30. So, and then in between that, I got to knock out house inspections and all that kind of stuff and everything. So when I woke up this morning, or yesterday morning, on Thursday morning, it hit me on how to communicate what I was trying, another part of what I was trying to say. And I have to couple that with something that my wife said, where she was talking about the fact that, about this business and just in businesses in general. But what she said was, I can't recall how she exactly said it, but I'm going to share what I took from it. This business is very unique in that it's really an all or none. With Notary, and let me back up, with other businesses, you can do that business for your family and friends. You can't do that with Notary. You have to be very careful. See, as a cosmetologist, my wife can still do her hair, can still cut our hair, use the clippers, the equipment, all of the stuff that she has, she can use it on us. She can truly use it on us. If you have a grocery store and all of a sudden nobody want to buy groceries from you, that's okay. But you can sell the food to your family and friends. You got close family and friends. If the general public don't want to have nothing to do with you, you can sell it to your family and friends. But when you're a notary, if you can't notarize if you lose not even lose your commission, but if you get blacklisted, if nobody wants to use you, what are you going to do with this notary? You can't notarize a document for yourself. You can't notarize anything for your family and friends that you might be tied into. So it's all or none. You cannot do notary on yourself. You can't benefit from having a notarial commission for yourself. You can't notarize anything for your husband, for your children, any of that. So who are you going to notarize for? So that's where the stress is at. Because many of us know subconsciously that if I don't make this work, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with all of this equipment, all of this paper, the stamp, the this, that, and the other? What am I going to do? I can't do anything with it. It ain't like I can go sell the stamp. Got my info on it. I can maybe sell the printer, but I ain't going to get what I paid for. I could probably sell the paper, but I ain't going to get what I paid for. So I end up probably donating it to some community center or wherever to use for that. And then if you don't have anything else going on in your life that will warrant you to use that equipment, then it's sort of a lost cause. So it hit me when my wife was talking about how, you can't really do notary outside of yourself. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You can't. And I was like, man. So when you start looking at, and I started listening to people talk about them being scared and them being afraid and all of that. And I'm like, man, okay, I'm seeing something here. I'm seeing something here. And I hear and several people have contacted me and was saying, well, I don't think people are scared. I think they're really more nervous. Well, when you look up the definition of scared versus nervous, or nervous versus fear or scared, it'll tell you that nervousness is the gateway to being scared. Because when you get overly nervous and you start getting anxious and all of that and anxiety, it leads into fear. It leads into being scared. So they're I won't say they're one and the same, but they're very closely related, or they're coupled with each other. So to say that, well, nobody's scared, they're just nervous, it bores into that. Because if you never mitigate that nervousness, if you never deal with that nervousness, guess what? It's going to lead into scared. It's going to lead into being fearful. But then I said, well, what are people doing to try to mitigate the fear? And to me, I sort of had a revelation, and it sort of popped, and I was like, this is it. I get it now. This is what people are doing. Because out of all of the different things that you can do as a business owner, for a lot of the different things that you have going on in your life, the one thing a mentor, in my opinion, a mentor, a coach, a conference speaker, a colleague, your friends, family, the one thing they can't erase out of your life, and you're the only one who can do it, is fear. And a lot of people, in my opinion, are trying to buy their way out of being fearful. And you say, well, what do you mean by that? They're spending an exorbitant amount of money and time trying to get this thing that is going to make them to not be afraid anymore. If I spend money on training, if I spend money on mentor, if I spend money on events, if I go hang out here, I go hang out there, if I buy this system, I buy that system. And I'm not saying any of those things can't work, but the one thing they can't do is stop you from being afraid. They can't. You have to make that decision on your own. There's no amount of money you could ever spend to stop being afraid. You can buy all of the security systems you want to keep your house because you're concerned, scared, or fearful that your house may be broken into. But at some point in time, you just have to be not afraid, because if the power goes out and your security system goes down and you don't have any backup power, what are you going to do? Are you going to sit there scared all night long with a baseball bat in your hand, not willing to go to sleep because you're worried that somebody's going to break into your house because the security system went down? You have a chance, you get wealthy enough and you can buy guards and stuff around your house. Okay, what if the guards all of a sudden get sick or whatever? Are you still going to be scared? It's up to you. You have to erase the fear out of you. Your friends can be, as they say, well, I'm scared for you. But guess what? After a while, they're going to be like, wait a minute, you ain't doing nothing to stop being afraid. You ain't doing anything to move away from this fear. And after a while, they're gonna be like, you know what? You're on your own. You're not doing anything. You're still scared. It's like you're just living in this fear. And you get to a point where there's nothing anyone can do to stop you from being scared. As kids, we had the bullies. As kids, we had the people that picked on us. And it wasn't until, and it's still that way, it's not until an individual who's being bullied, who's being picked on, stand up against those people and say, look, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. Either you're gonna leave me alone, or we gonna fight until you leave me alone. Which one is it? You make up your mind which one. You're either gonna leave me alone, or we're gonna battle until you leave me alone, until you realize that you need to leave me alone. Which one is it going to be? Because I'm ready to rock and roll. It's not until you decide to stand up and face that fear. Again, there's no amount of money that you could ever spend to erase fear out of your life. There's nobody who you can pay. You can't pay anybody enough. There's not enough money in any way, shape, or form to mitigate the fear. It's something that you have to face. Now, you can get all of the training, you can get all of the encouragement, you can get all of the nuggets, all of the tips and tricks and all of that stuff. But until you face the fear that you say you have, and that is the biggest part right there, because too many of you are confessing all of this fear. You're confessing that you have this fear, and in some cases, it's really not. What I'm learning in communicating with y'all is that many of you naturally have overcome your fear. You've already overcome it, but now you've gotten around people who are confessing and telling you that you should be fearful, like I said in the other video, and now you're speaking that language, and now you've brought the fear that you've overcame back into your life, and they're running off down the street to the next person, making their money doing whatever. And now you're chasing them, thinking that, oh, well, if they brought up the fact that I'm fearful or that there's something to be afraid of, maybe they can help me. And they're like, they can't do anything for you. It's up to you to make up your mind that I'm going to face this fear and overcome it. And then you say, well, how do I overcome it? How do I face it? You get the tools necessary. Now, it may be by going to a conference. It may be by going to a meetup. It may be some kind of networking event. It may be. But what has to happen is that when you hear that thing to get you to say, okay, yes, then you got to execute it. Now, I would say at some of these within the notary realm, there's not a whole lot of people talking about facing your fear. Maybe after they hear me talking about it, they will. But I don't hear too many people, if any, talking about really facing your fear, because people spend too much time telling you what to be afraid of. They spend too much time telling you how you're going to mess up. And they tell you that you can't do the job unless you spend this exorbitant amount of money. And then that's what I said. You can't buy yourself out of fear. So they say, spend this money, because if you're afraid that you're going to mess up, spend this money over here, and I guarantee you won't mess up anymore. But when you do that, and then you find out that, hey, what I learned from them was nice, but I'm still afraid, because what I'm concerned about, they didn't deal with. They didn't address. They didn't give me any tools to overcome it. They gave me tools to go out and market. They gave me tools to go out and brag about what I do and what I, this, that, and the other, that I can be a great notary. But they did not give me the tools to deal with the fear that they told me that I have with regards to these loan documents. So you can't buy your way out of fear. Now, a lot of people keep asking me, and there's nothing wrong with this question, and I just realized tonight the answer. And while I was sitting in the dining room prepping my documents, and I was going over my head about the stuff that I wanted to say in this video and the way I wanted to say it, I was sitting there just thinking, and then I popped on YouTube, and then this video popped up, the one that I got linked in the description. And it said, you're not committed, you're just interested. And I was like, and after I listened to that video, had Eric Thomas in it, had TD Jakes and some others. And I'm sitting here, and most definitely at the end, the last guy that speaks about running up the wall, you need to listen to that 3 or 4 times. You need to listen to the whole thing multiple times, but you need to really listen to him. And the reason why I can do back to back, and the question is, how am I able to do back to back signings? The reason why I'm able to do back to back signings is because I'm committed. I'm committed to this. That's really it. If you want the secret sauce, you want the nugget, the tip of trick, Uncle Griff is committed. Now the question is, are you committed or are you just interested? If you're committed to doing this, then you'll find a way to mitigate your fear. Listen to the video that's in the description. You listen to them, that's me. That's all I'm trying to tell you. That's all I'm trying to say. And you're not going to get that anywhere else, okay? The video came to me, I'm giving it to you. You need to listen to it. If you can't listen to it, then this ain't the business for you. When you listen to that video, you got to make a decision. Are you committed or are you interested? If you're interested, then there's really no need to call anybody asking them for help because you're not committed. Because see, I'm about commitment. That's why I said, Griff, don't do scared. Okay? So if you're scared, if you're fearful, my first suggestion to you is listen to the videos in my Make Your Move playlist. After listening to those videos, if you are still scared, I should not hear from you. I should not hear from you because I can't do anything about you being scared. Because if you call me about and you start off the conversation, I'm scared, all I'm gonna say is you need to go over here and work on yourself. You got to be committed. You got to make up your mind. I can't do it for you. I will not do it for you. I will support you, but I can't sit here and just listen to you talking about how scared you are, because I don't want that getting into me. Okay? I can't sit here and like, okay, you talking about you scared and you scared. I'm really overly nervous. And you're not doing anything to mitigate it. You're not doing anything. And you say, well, man, you being harsh. I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just being real with you. Because you would do the same thing to your son or your daughter if they kept coming. You say, okay, well, they say, well, I want to play basketball. Okay, well, let's go. Well, I don't know. I mean, that ball is awfully big. I want to play football. Okay, let's go do it. You get all of the gear and equipment for them, and they're like, I don't know. I mean, they be hitting people hard out there. Okay, you said you wanted to do this. I mean, yeah, then what's the problem? I'm scared. Okay, you know what? Carry your butt on. Take this stuff off and get your butt back in the car and we going home. No, I want to do it. And then they start having fits and tantrums and crying on the ground. Look, either you're going to do it or you're not. But we don't do scared. It's that simple. Either you're going to do it or you're not. We don't do scared. See, you see that in your own children. They're either committed or they're interested. If they're committed, bam, they getting up, they doing it. They doing what they need to do. They're studying, all of that. Like the little 7-year-old, or he might be older now, but the little DJ boy. He was little and he's a little bit bigger now. And them kids, and he's doing all of that. The skateboarders, all of them, committed. Skateboarding at night, skateboarding in the morning, skateboarding on pieces of wood, skateboarding on whatever. When you're committed, you do what it takes to get better. And too many of you are just interested. You're just interested in what? Making $10,000 a month, but you're not committed to it. You're not willing to stop doing what you're doing. You're not committed to changing your mindset, changing your pattern of habits, changing the pattern of the way you work and do things. You're not committed to that. All you want is the quick fix money, so you will spend your money and hop from event to event to event, thinking that somebody's going to do something for you, thinking somebody's going to say something to you that's going to make it pop and give you some kind of tip, trick, or secret so that you can do what you can make the money you want to make, that you're interested in making, not committed, but interested in making, without doing the full commitment that it takes. Because, you know, I've been working hard all my life. I ain't got to, you know what, that's a lot of work. And now, boom, that's why you got so many notaries, in my opinion, shifting from doing the notary work to I'm an educator, I'm a teacher, I'm a this, I'm a that. Because it takes work when you, especially when you find out you ain't getting $300 a signing, when you find out you're not getting the $200 a signing, when you find out that you got to do like I did last month. I did 60 signings and I did 68 house inspections. Over $6,000 in signings last month, and over $2,110 in house inspection. So don't tell me that if you're not committed, you can't do it. So you tell me, how in the world did I do 68 house inspections? Not just the picture ones only for $20, but the ones where I had to go into the house, and I did 60 signings in 1 month. That's commitment. Do you have that commitment? Either you do or you don't. So what I'm saying is, stop bothering people about how scared you are. Stop bothering people about what is the tip or trick that I can get to make this thing work. Figure it out. You done figured out, like I said in the other video, when you was, if you was in the military, you was a military spouse or whatever, and especially if you lived off base, you had to pack out sometimes your own self. You may have gotten a little help from here, this, that, and the other, but you had to figure it out. You moved into a whole nother country, and all they did was give you this little packet, and you had to figure it out. You had to figure out where to buy groceries and get this, that, and the other. You had to make connections and stuff. You figured it out. But now with the notary, you act like, well, no, I don't have to figure it out. Somebody just give me what I need to do, and now, boom. You want this little water, sprinkle some water on your little notary certificate, and then it's supposed to pop, into $10,000. Are you committed? If you're committed, I can help you. I can work with you. The reason why I'm not like I'm somebody's mentor, because you're not committed. If somebody's committed, and it takes time. It takes time to get there. But you can't be moving there saying I'm scared all the time. That every time you're being asked to do something, every time you're being told to do something, I'm scared. I don't know how many people they called and asked me, what do I need to do to get more notification? What do I need to do to get out there more? I said, make sure you change your profile. Look at the video. Your profile will separate you from them. You know what? Okay. You know what? Yeah. Okay, I might consider doing that. Then you're going to fail. Get out the business. What do you mean? If your existing profile hasn't helped you get more business, and the profile suggestions that I'm making has been proven to help others, and you're unwilling to even give what I'm asking you to do a try, then you're not committed. And I've had countless people sit there and say to me, oh, okay, I'll consider that. I'll look into it, and yeah, man, I'll see what you're saying in that video. Well, yeah, I saw that video. Okay, your profile is jacked up, but you're not willing to do anything to fix it. You ask me what to do, how to fix it, and I share with you, and then you're like, well, maybe I'll do that. Okay, well, I'll think about looking at that. Bump that. Don't call me. What is there to talk about? You're not committed. Okay? I mean, it's that simple. You're just interested, but you're not committed. And I'm not even going to go there. It's something about, all I can say is I've seen some crazy stuff in people's profiles, from talking about what college they went to and that they's beta, phi, gamma, psi, figma, mi, or whatever they want to call it, all the way to their sports interests. What's that you have an interest in a sports or your coaching activities, or what a sorority you with or fraternity you with got anything to do with you being a notary? Why is that in your profile? How does that convince me, a signing company? Now, I'm not a signing company, just speaking speculative, allegedly, or however you want to say, as an example, that you are committed to being a good notary. So your profile got to show that you're committed. And the stuff that I'm talking to you about in that video, and I'll link it somewhere in here or at the end, it talks about you showing that you're committed. And if you're unwilling to show that you're committed in your profile, why would I pick you? Why would anybody pick you? So you got to ask yourself, am I spending all this money and all of this effort running around calling all these different notaries, because I know I'm not the only one you call, and then challenging them on what they say in their videos to see if they're really real, and if they're going to say the same thing to me over the phone that they did in the video. And you spending all that time and all this money running around behind everybody and at every event and flying back and forth all over the place just to try to make yourself not fearful anymore, but yet you won't face your fear and go out there and do a daggone signing. You use the excuse that I'm gonna do what Fred said in Facebook and I ain't taking no signings for $150. Okay, fine. And I'm about to do a video on return on investment. Stand by for that one. And I'm like, okay, so you listening to him, but you ain't making no money. So how are you going to mitigate the fear that you have because you're not even taking a signing? Well, I'll take one once it's this dollar amount. Oh, so you think you're going to buy your way out of being fearful by saying, well, if I take $150 signing, oh, I won't be scared. What is there to be scared of? Because it's $150. Well, I can't be scared of doing a closing at $150, but I can be scared at 85. I can be scared at 60. Man, y'all done bumped y'all head. I'm serious. Griff, don't do fear. I'm not saying I don't want to help y'all, but I've come to the conclusion that there's nothing that I can do in the revelation that I've learned in my life, because yes, I've been there where fear has resided in me and I had to work to get it out. But I realized that there's no way I can do anything with anybody who has fear and they're unwilling to deal with it. If you got fear in you and you're willing to deal with it and you're willing to make a move, then cool. And that's why I made the playlist called Make Your Move. If you look at the videos in there, look at the videos in my Notary Basic playlist that talks about loan doc overviews, how to deal with acknowledgments, all of that different stuff. You're dealing with printer issues. Look at the printer thing. I want to do groundworks. Look at the groundwork stuff. I mean, I got people calling me and asking me, well, do you have a video of this? And I'm like, okay, did you even look to see if I had a video? Well, nah. I just figured I'd just call and ask you. Okay. So what, you too scared to look for it, to see if I have? Play this. Take a look. Because along with fear comes laziness. And when people are operating in fear, they get lazy and they want somebody else to do it. And part of your fear is that you want that you want to put the responsibility on someone else, so you'll have someone to blame. It's somebody else's fault. I paid Griff this money to help me, to be my mentor, and it didn't work and he didn't help me, and I'm still scared and I still can't go forward because I'm too scared to go forward. It's his fault. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. It's your fault. But the simple fix is that you got to get your mindset changed. That's why I keep putting videos in the Make Your Move playlist. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. If you are for real, if you are committed, you will take this holiday weekend, and in between all of your beer drinking and liquor drinking and alcohol and anything else you doing, and doing your moment of sobriety, look at the videos. Okay? Look at the videos and allow yourself to learn. Stop saying you can't learn this way, you can't learn that way. Well, I gotta touch it and feel it. I gotta get in. Look at the videos and allow yourself to receive the information that is in those videos so that you can move forward into your greatness. That's what you need to do. If you can do that, to be honest, you might not even need my help. You might not even need a conference. You might not even need a mentor to the level that you think. Because many of you, from what I'm hearing, from your talk, I can hear underneath the fear, the greatness that's in you. But you're too laced with fear to allow it to come out. Let the greatness in you come out. Decide whether you're committed to this or not. If you're not, it's okay. But stop playing with yourself like you are committed when you're not. And if you are committed, then do what committed people do and make this thing work. And trust me, The help that you need, the energy that you need to come around you will be there. But it doesn't happen until you show commitment. The universe, the atmosphere, the spiritual world does not pop, because that's the pop that you want. It does not pop until there's commitment. Show yourself some commitment and watch. Your husband, your wife, other people in your family don't seem to be caring about you, don't seem to be jiving with you with this notary business. Get committed and watch things change. My commitment is what made my son say, Dad, I want to do this business with you. And now he's getting them checks rolling in. And boy, I saw a big old smile on his face today when them checks came in. So don't tell me my commitment didn't change something in my son. That's how it happens. Commitment. If I was just interested, nah. Now he might be at the interested phase, but he's getting to the committed phase. And that's because of my commitment. So get committed, do what you gotta do, and when you're ready to rock and roll, hit me up. I got you. But don't call me talking about you scared, because Griff don't do scared. Be easy. Peace.